Good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night, and so you're live here with Brush by Brandy on the Dixiebell paint page. My name is Brandy, and I'm with Brush by Brandy. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube as well. And so what we've been doing is a series of start to finish tutorials. And so what I do is I take an unfinished piece straight out of my stockpile, and we're going through every step on the piece together. And then at the end of the process, you guys have start to finish tutorials. So tonight we're starting a brand new piece together. So this has nothing done to it. It's just out of my garage stockpile. And so I'm going to go through a little bit with you on how I would prep this piece. And then as we go through the next few weeks, we will do our paint and other finishes that I have planned for this piece. So you guys, if you share this post and come back and let me know that you did, you'll be entered to win an 8 ounce of Dixiebell paint. We'll be choosing a winner off the broadcast. You have 24 hours after the live broadcast to go ahead and share this and then let us know you did so. And we're going to give away an 8 ounce of Dixiebell paint to one lucky winner on the broadcast. Okay, so what I've got here tonight is this is it's a desk really. It came with a set that I purchased. It had a highboy and a nightstand with it. And what I sometimes like to do with desks is I will find a mirror. I know if we buy dressers a lot, you often get mirrors with them, and people don't always like to take the dresser mirrors. This is one I picked up separately, but it's a really pretty swiveling vanity mirror. It does not go with this piece, but I like the mirror and I like this desk, and with a matching paint finish on both, I'm going to create a vanity out of this otherwise, you know, pretty ordinary desk. So let me get this out of the way. We're not going to work on the mirror tonight, but I am going to do the mirror on camera just so I can show you guys how I paint mirrors. So the first thing I'm going to do on this piece tonight, I wanted to show you it with the hardware on, but I'm going to take all this hardware off so that we can clean it together. So most of it's already half removed, and I'm going to go ahead and what I do when I remove hardware is I just take it and put it straight into a dish. And that way, all of my hardware is together throughout the whole process. If you set it off to the side or something, you're likely to end up missing a screw or not knowing what happened to a piece of hardware. So I put it straight into a dish, and then I'll take this and soak it in vinegar and white vinegar and water to get it clean so we can see what we're going to do with our hardware as we get into it. So right now, let's get all these taken off. You guys, let me know if you guys can see me okay tonight. I'm hoping that the resolution is clear. We had good clarity last week. I hope it's continuing this week. Come on and let me know where you guys are watching from too. So my plan for this piece, you guys, is I feel like vanities are always very feminine pieces. You know, most vanities are going to be used by a woman or a young girl, and so I like to go with feminine finishes on a vanity. So for this one, the basic finishes I've chosen are, I have out Dixiebell Tea Rose, Drop Cloth, and then Mason Dixon Gray. I have a bunch of transfers here. These are transfers by Redesign with Prima, and Dixiebell carries a variety of the Redesign with Prima transfers on their website. I'm not 100% sure which one I'm going to use yet, but I pulled out a whole bunch. I like this one. The Cabbage Roses would be really pretty, because once I get the paint finish laid on, I am going to put a transfer on here. This piece has an inlay right here, and once I paint it, this inlay is going to get covered up. So aside from our transfer, another thing I'm going to be adding is going to be a decorative applique that I make with a mold. So we're going to do this as we go through this piece. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what finishes I'm going to use on this. We'll do them all together, but that's kind of the direction that I'm going. Tonight we're just going to start off with the preparation of it, and then we'll move on into our paint, and then applying some decorative finishes too. So the first thing I'm going to do, you guys probably know this well already, is I'm going to take my Dixiebell White Lightning. So White Lightning is a granulated cleaner that I dissolve into a spray bottle, and I'm going to liberally spray my piece here. I want to get off all this finger grease and all the dirt and you know, furniture polish that has been used on this piece over the last, you know, 80 years that it's been around. So now I'm going to take a rag and I'm going to go through and clean my piece. This piece, right off the bat, I can tell I'm using dark colors, or I'm using light colors, and it's a dark wood tone with a lot of reds in it. So I can tell right off the bat looking at this that it's likely to be a bleeder. So, saying bleeder. I know, for sure bleeding.
Between that and being the non-artistic guy with the smiley face on the middle drawer. Yeah.
It does.
Carry on.
It looks like the Amazon logo.
Yeah, I was going to say
See
that.
Yeah. So what bleed through is it's the tannins in the wood. Tannins are the oils in the wood. Old woods have very rich tannins in them. So, and then when the finishes get damaged, so the crackling that happens on a piece over time, it will allow those tannins, the oils, to escape through your paint. Chalk paint is porous and it will absorb. So it's absorbing the oils that are coming through from the wood. That's an explanation of what bleed through is, what's happening when you see it. But basically what you'll see is it'll start to discolor your paint finish. So I can tell right off the bat that this is very likely to be a bleeder. I have a loose piece of veneer right here. I don't want to lose it. Okay, once I've wiped it down with my white lightning, I'm going to take just pure water. This is just pure water. And I also want to remove any cleaning residue. Any kind of residue you leave on your piece can affect adhesion of your paint. So I'm also removing any residue that might be left from that white lightning. When I get into all these crevices, all the little nooks, that's where the dust tends to settle.
Joy had a point. When you see that hardware you'd mentioned before, you see that hardware, you know you got a bleeder.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Thank you, Joy. So what she's talking about is these Heppel white poles. It's this style of furniture that these come on, and they, I mean, every time. You're right. You're exactly right. So that was a good thought. Thank you. What we do to prevent bleed through, Dixiebell has a product called Boss. And Boss is a stain and odor blocking primer. So because I'm concerned about stains on this, I'm going to start off, before I add any paint, I'm going to start off with a coat of Dixiebell Boss.
Is it okay to use the same rag throughout that process right there?
I'm using a different side of it. Now I'm trying to clean off cleaning residue, so if you're wiping it back on with the same rag, you're kind of defeating the purpose. I did turn it to a different side at least, where it's, you know, one side is the cleaner and then one side I'm cleaning off the water. So I would be cautious, but yeah, you don't want to be wiping back on the stuff that you just took off.
So I know in previous videos we've covered these things, but the dollies that are on the legs.
Oh, these are 3-wheel furniture dollies, and I get them off Amazon. It's about $20 for a set of 4, $25 probably. I'm going to wipe that off the floor just so I don't roll through my cleaner. When I get off, I will add a link to my Amazon shop and show you guys where those are. Okay, so I also chose this piece tonight because this one has a little bit of extra prep work that it needs. And it's got some veneer damage. This is fairly minor in comparison to what you'll see on a lot of pieces, but it's enough that I need to patch this veneer and then glue any that might be loose so that it doesn't continue to chip. So it feels pretty well attached, but I do need to fill these chunks that are taken out. So I like to do a wood stain top. I'm going to stain the top of this in a wood finish. So when I fill these, I want to consider that I want to try to keep the wood. You will be able to see where the patches were, but I'm going to try to make them as, you know, inconspicuous as possible. So Dixie Mud is literally like mud. It is a like thick cream, and it comes in black, brown, and white. And I'm going to use the brown because I am going to do a wood stain top. And I'm going to take the Dixie Mud and fill in with a little scraper, and I'm going to fill in these missing veneer spots. So I'm going to use this as a fill. So Dixie Mud can also be used for creating raised stenciling on a piece. You know, if you want to use it for a texture, you can. But in this case, I'm using it as a fill.
So a couple of quick questions. Gary just chimed in and wondered what you were doing. But
I'm painting, Gary.
We're just talking about paint. No big deal.
What am I doing?
And then another question was in reference to the smiley face on the front there.
Yeah.
If that's a stencil.
No, it's an inlay.
It looks like an inlay.
It's an inlay in the wood. It's actually a different variety of wood. And it's got seams on it. Like it would have been a nice inlay, but it's damaged now. And I'm not going to try to save it. But I am going to take the same basic idea to keep the style of the piece. And I'm going to add a mold right here instead. So it's still going to have an accent here. You could, you know, try to paint around this if you wanted to try to preserve it. But I don't think it's going to go with my look. So we're going to get the basic, you know, spirit of it and put a mold here. But I'm going to cover it up with some paint. So
I gotta say, I'm in love with that mud.
It's awesome.
It goes, yeah.
Because it's such a nice texture that it just goes on really easy.
The consistency of it is really.
A lot of wood fillers,
really
and
nice.
it sands really easily too. I've got another little one over here I'm going to fill. So these, you guys, I need to let them dry. And then once they dry, I can come back and sand this smooth, and I can either paint right over it, or in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put stain over it. And they'll be a little bit different colored, but that's okay. Now I've got another little chip right here that just came off, and I'm going to save this.
If we hang out long enough.
Yeah. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put a little bit of wood glue on the back. This is Gorilla wood glue. I'm just going to reattach it. Little bit of glue. I don't want it squeezing out the side. And then I'm just going to stick it back on here. So if you can save the pieces, great. The ones I filled with the mud are obviously missing. I can't get them back.
So what's the turnaround? What's the dry time on the mud?
It's quick. It's
Couple hours?
Yeah, a couple hours. I could come back tonight and sand it smooth. And then I just patched that piece back in, but there's still a little chunk missing at the bottom, so I'm going to patch that in.
Gary's voting that you put a yellow smiley face on this piece.
You like smiley face, like an Amazon theme? Yeah? Yeah, who doesn't love an Amazon package, right? You'd want it in your room.
I don't like the cost of them.
Yeah.
They're not free.
Well, sometimes they are.
If you use someone else's account.
We are not advocating that.
Yeah.
By the way. Identity theft is a crime. That's your PSA for today.
Joy wants to know if we got any candy for Uncle John's Easter basket, by the way.
No, you know what I did for him, Joy? Okay, so my aunt.
What did we do for him?
Well, it's not even we. You know what Dixiebell did for him? My aunt is a crafter, and she's a sewer and a crafter and extremely creative, and so I ordered her some Dixiebell paint. That's what her gift is going to be. Dixiebell makes a great gift, you guys. Easter's coming. Fill your Easter baskets with Dixiebell paint. My affiliate link is at the top. No, I got her some really nice stuff. I got her a few colors that she could mix and make a variety. I got her a nice brush. So that's my thank you is I'm going to give her some paint.
So I know this is off topic, and you get the question almost every video.
Oh my.
Yes. Let's go with the roller.
Okay, the rolling stool. We gotta
Okay, everyone. Here we go again.
Video.
Sorry if you've already heard this a million times.
It's a broken mechanic stool. It had a post in it, looked like that one. It broke. My husband removed the post from here at the base and then unscrewed it from the seat. These are both Cobalt brand. They're from Lowe's. I know some of you have found that if you order certain ones, the base is welded on. So this one, you could unscrew it and then remove the hydraulic portion. I put the seat right on the base.
Bam.
And I've got a low stool and a high stool. It saves my butt a lot, my back. Okay.
All right, carry on.
So
Sorry.
I got my patchwork done. I'm just going to leave it. It's a little heavy, but I want to make sure I don't have to come back and add any more. So I'm going to leave it a little bit heavy. I got a little spot right here. Okay, because I can always sand it smooth. I'd rather have too much instead of too little. Dixiebell is perfect for patching veneer damage. That's nice and patched. And now with my body, wherever I put my screwdriver, did you see where I set it? Did anybody see where I set my screwdriver?
Yeah, it's right behind you. I just want to kind of point this out over.
Thanks.
Yeah, over there. Carry on. Captain Obvious.
I just got bots all over the floor. All right. I'm actually going to take my drawers out and do this. This is how I would normally do it. So when I paint boss, because when I come back and paint, oh, can you see this? Can you come and get this? This is good stuff.
What are you, Steve Irwin?
Yeah. Oh. this is how you can tell it's going to bleed too. It's bleeding already. These drips, I'm going to take this fairly
fairly new clean white t-shirt
spot on this white t-shirt, and watch what I'm going to wipe off of here. So it's white. I'm going to take this exact spot and wipe where it was wet. The moisture is what pulls out the tannins in the wood. It just dripped like this rust color.
Oh, because that doesn't look gross.
That's not dirt. It's already starting to bleed. So when I paint my piece, I also paint inside of the drawer box right here so that when my drawer is in, you don't see the wood. So I'm going to take the drawer out, and I will also put Boss on this portion of the frame.
So when it comes to the Dixie Mud and you open it up, you put it in the fridge?
Yes. Thank you for that reminder. I do need to say that. Dixie Mud should be stored in the refrigerator. Once you open it, it's a wet product and it will dry out. So storing it in the refrigerator will preserve your Dixie Mud. It does have that instruction on the container as well, that it should be stored in a refrigerator. So I'm using Dixiebell Boss in Clear. Now, because of the colors that I'm using, I probably would have preferred white, but I don't have white on hand. I just ordered some. I only have clear. So this is going to dry clear, but when you put it on, it goes on white. And what I like about the Boss is the stain and odor blocking primer. What I like about it is because it goes on white, you can tell when it's dry. It will turn clear as it dries. So I'm going to do this drawer, and then I'll put it back up here so you guys can watch it as we go across the front of this piece. You can watch how it's going to change color. So I'm going to come in here on my whole drawer.
We're getting blurry.
Oh, okay. And let's see, are you off the Wi-Fi or on it?
On it.
Okay, should be on it.
Carry on.
No, it's on the other signal.
Sorry, guys.
Can I change it right
Yeah,
now?
go ahead.
Hang on, guys. I'm going to interrupt us for a second.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Sorry about that. It's like going through a tunnel.
Thank you for the feedback, guys. Okay, so I just changed over the signal.
So when you're using the Boss, do you use, I'm going to try to catch up, guys. Sorry. Do you use a wet brush? Or do you start out dry?
This was a dry brush. This was a dry brush. It goes on really easily. It's smooth. It doesn't stick. There's absolutely no reason you can't start with a wet brush if you prefer one, but I started with mine dry today. So I'm going to pull out my next drawer.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Clarity is king. All right.
All right. I'm sorry, you guys. But thank you for letting me know so that we could fix that. So I'm just brushing this on. You see how easy it goes, though? It doesn't stick or drag or pull or anything. And I just want to get nice coverage, because if I leave spots uncovered, like, you know, little spots down here, those are going to be the spots that bleed through. So make sure you get all into your corners. I'm going to cover my whole piece. So what Boss does is it kind of encapsulates your piece in a coating, so that those tannins cannot get through and touch into your paint finish. And sometimes if you're not sure if your piece will bleed, you can also do, you know, a base coat of paint, and you'll notice right away if it's going to. And you can use that as a kind of a test coat, and then you can come back and add Boss, and then add your second coat too.
So what's that there brush that you're using?
Oh, this is my Dixiebell mini brush. This is my favorite of the Dixiebell brushes. It's a nice universal brush. I love how it lays paint on. It lays the Boss on really well too. So this is my brush that my go-to for laying paint on. So Dixiebell has a variety of brushes that can be used for, you know, different purposes. Like I like the oval medium for blending. They have smaller brushes for getting into tight areas. But you know, different brushes are great for different purposes. And for laying the paint on, or in this case the Boss, I like the mini. It's my favorite. The mini also comes in an angle. If you like an angled brush, this is the mini flat. It's just called the mini. So I can see over here, this is the first drawer that we did. I'm going to actually set it up here so you guys can see the face of it as it starts to dry and turn to clear. But I can see this corner up here is already starting to dry. So it's going to turn clear. It has a really nice matte finish. The paint goes on over the Boss really nicely too. So the reason I would have chose white on this one is because of the color choices I'm using with the drop cloth, Mason Dixon Gray, and Tea Rose. And I think it would be pretty to distress through to a white
Terry
primer
says she's
underneath.
watching you. Watching you on 2 different devices.
Oh man, turn one off. You know what
I
kills
love
me?
it.
Oh, okay. I have a story. I have a story for everything.
Criminy.
No, this one isn't about you though.
Sweet. Okay.
So,
I like those stories.
Yeah, so my kids, we have a Roku that's hooked up to the TV, and they like to watch YouTube videos on TV. Now they're usually about video games, which I saw this meme one time about people who watch other people play video games on YouTube, and it said, you know, I just yelled at my kids for watching people play video games on YouTube, and then I realized that I like to watch people paint on YouTube. I was like, oh man, it kind of got me there. So we made a rule. My kids aren't allowed to watch video games on YouTube. There's so many more creative things that they can be watching on there. So the other morning I get up, my kids are ready for school, and they're watching, you know, videos, YouTube videos. And since I told them they can't watch video games anymore, you know what they're watching? My YouTube channel. My kids were in our study watching me paint before school in the morning, and it was hilarious. I was like, I had to do a double take, like, are you guys kidding me that you're watching your mom's YouTube channel? So
yeah, that does sound pretty lame.
Yeah, I know, it's not cool at all. They're still young. If I told them that, you know, in a few years, they'd be like, oh, that's so stupid. I'm totally not watching my mom.
So now back to business real quick. As far as the boss is concerned,
yes.
If you have an item that, a hutch, whatever it is, that has it came from a smoking home.
Oh,
or a home where there was smoke.
Cigarette smoke
will
is
it help?
The devil. Yes.
What about oils or anything like that? Will it help coat and cover?
Yes. So the problem with cigarette smoke is it doesn't just get onto the exterior of your piece. Cigarette smoke is inside the body. See all these drawer separators and the glides and everything? That cigarette smoke penetrates the wood, and it's in the entire body of a piece. That's part of why I try to avoid cigarette smoke pieces. They're not beyond saving. It's just, it's a heck of a job. Cigarette smoke is the devil.
I'm going to pan over to this mud real quick because it's getting a little attention.
Okay, can you see it?
I just want to show you that if you can see the, almost like a camouflage, because you can see the dry and the darker patch being the wetter.
That's another good cue that you can tell when your mud is dry is when it starts turning to the lighter color. See how the dry portions are lighter than the wet portions, which are darker? So once it's all that lighter color, then I'll know that I can come back and lightly sand it.
Now, when it comes to boss, can you mix coloring in it?
Yes. Thank you for asking that. I did that on a piece recently. You can tint your boss. And tinting primer can save you a coat of paint. So, yeah, if you're doing a dark color, you absolutely can tint your boss. Fabulous. That's a great question.
So this is just clear. This has no tint in it.
Yeah, this is just the clear. I would have preferred the white. I just didn't have any on hand. And that was just because I think the white would be a cute undercoat to distress to on this particular piece.
Terry says you make everything look so easy. I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Thank you, Terry. It really is that easy, you guys. I know. That's part of my goal with doing these start to finishes is I want to teach you guys how to put the products together. You know, you catch these snippets on here's how to use boss, and then here's how to use glaze, and here's how to use the paint. So I want you to see how you layer them all. Dixiebell's kind of a one-stop shop for all the products you need. And I want to teach you guys how to use them all together, not just, you know, on their own. So you can see how this is drying. I'm going to do 2 coats on this. I'm going to do 2 coats because I'm using such light colors, and I'm pretty sure this is a bleeder. So 2 coats will ensure that I have a good seal around my entire piece. So once this is all dry to this clear, see how it's super matte? It takes any shine off of it. I will come back and put a second coat on this too.
Dana said that I'm the best instructor. Oh wait, no, that wasn't for me. That was for you. I'm sorry. My bad.
I think I'm allowed to say this. No, I'm going to say it, you guys. I'm going to say it.
I'm the best instructor? It's really cool.
I'm going to let a cat out of the bag. It's already been mentioned other places, so I think I can talk about it now. There is a Dixiebell conference coming up. And it's not just Dixiebell. It's a Dixiebell and a Prima conference. So Prima is redesigned with Prima, makes transfers, molds, they make the decor waxes, they make artisan powders, and they work hand in hand with Dixiebell. And Dixiebell offers a lot of their products. They're going to be offering a conference together. I don't know all the details. It's a brand new plan. It is going to be end of September, the last weekend in September. And you guys ready for this? This is the good part.
Holding out.
It's going to be open to the public.
What?
What? Did I just say that? It's going to be here in California, Southern California, Ontario to be exact. So, like I said, I don't have any more details than that. Brand new concept. Like I'm not even 100% sure I should be talking about it yet, except it's been talked about elsewhere. So, I think I can. And just put that in the back of your heads and be watching for more details on that. I'm going to be an instructor.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm going to be an instructor. I'm not going to release the whole lineup. I'll just tell you me so far, but it's a good lineup, you guys. It's good.
Wow, that's not self-centered at all.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. Just me.
I mean all the other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only instructor. The only one.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's fabulous. No, so that's exciting because a lot of you have asked about the possibility of Dixiebell offers an annual retailers conference, but about conferences that are open to the public.
So Joy wanted to know if it's in Sacramento.
It is in Southern California, Joy. So Ontario, California is down near Los Angeles. So it is in Southern California. I'm up in near Sacramento.
Anne says she can't go.
Why?
Grandbaby coming on the 25th.
Bring
of
him
September.
along.
Yeah, I just,
Baby friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not bringing my kids this time either. It's just going to be me, and it's going to be a really quick trip down to Southern California and back. So I don't have to do the long travel. Dixiebell's going to come from Florida, but...
So you're just going to ride your bike there?
No, I'm actually going to be traveling first class with some reclining seats and cocktails.
Wow.
That's my plan.
That's interesting.
Don't tell Dixiebell.
Yeah, I didn't know that was even an option.
I will be Southwest traveling.
You're going to be traveling with some chickens in cages.
Yeah. No, you guys, conferences are rough. It's going to be all about adrenaline and coffee. So they're a lot of fun, but it's a fast-paced world. And
so now back to business.
Yeah.
Sorry to take that away from you.
I'm just going on to the other side. So I don't know.
Is this self-leveling?
Is Boss self-leveling? Is Dixiebell on here? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I believe so because it doesn't come out, the paint or the brush strokes come out really nicely on it. I'm going to say I believe it is, but maybe Dixiebell can confirm or deny that. They're usually on, but maybe they're just ignoring me right now.
Betty wants to know cocktails?
Cocktails. I'm not a drinker, you guys. I'm not. Although at the Dixiebell conference in Florida, when was that? February? Yeah. It was so exhausting that at the end of the night you just had to come down off the craziness, and so we would sit on the patio and have wine and stuff. And, you know, I mingle and talk.
It is self-leveling.
It is. Thank you so much, Dixiebell, for answering that for me. That's a great question too. Some good questions tonight. What?
No, just mentioning that she's here. So she's going to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dixiebell always comes on and answers questions, and they're here for us and for you guys. So if you have any questions about any of the products while I'm on, I'm happy to answer those. I also get messages throughout the day. If you have something, I always try to answer my messages. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get to them.
No, I mean, big stuff. Gary wants to know when I'm putting out a video. I don't know if it's got to be a music video or...
That's so funny because we've talked about this. So Sean's talents are not painting talents, but he can...
Amen.
He can fix anything, you guys. If he doesn't know how to do it, he will figure it out. So, and then he does, you know, tiling and, oh gosh, you name it.
You know, jack of all trades, master of none.
Cars, like, there's nothing he can't do. So we've talked about, like, him having a YouTube channel too. Just for all the stuff he does. It's totally different stuff, but it's absolutely, you know, valuable information.
I might get a viewer or two.
Yeah, probably our kids. So I'm doing the inside of this box. I've already done the sides, and then I'll do underneath here. My mud is drying really nicely.
I'm just going to answer real quick. Yes, Joe, we are close to there. She was asking if we're out by Rancho, if we're close to Rancho.
Yes, we are. We are probably, let's see.
Nancy wants me to come over and fix her birdseed nipple dresser.
He does all my repairs. So we were at, I have some of my pieces in a local shop here. It's called An Enchanted Closet, and it's in Old Town Folsom near Sacramento. And we were looking at a piece that they had last night, and you know, Sean and I can get together and look at a piece and take it apart visually and, you know, decide what it needs. So it had water damage, and we're gonna fix it. So
I'm really good at tearing it apart.
yeah, no, he does a lot of my repairs for me. So if it's more than just this, if it's more repairing than just this, then I'm like, Sean, and he'll cut wood for me, or you know, Kristana's hardcore. Kristana like builds furniture herself. I just call my husband. I like the decorative stuff.
Dana wants to know if I'm available to answer construction, furniture repair, or power tool questions.
Well,
Yes.
He does have a full-time job, guys. I hate to tell you, but he actually works. So he has a desk job too, but he worked construction when he was like younger, much.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh,
younger.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago?
Much younger.
Yeah. That's nice.
I know. I'm not one to talk because you guys, do you know what next week is on Monday?
Oh, man. Tax day.
Yeah, file your taxes. No.
See, this is a day where if I forget it, the joke is always that I'll get basically hammered on two fronts. So what is Monday?
First of all, I do want to showcase this.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Paper.
Can we take that out and frame it?
It's going to be a feature. No, but actually, this drawer's papered, and I clearly did not do this. Somebody did it circa 1970s, maybe late 60s.
Circa yesterday.
I'm going to leave it in there because it's going to protect my drawer while I'm working on the piece, and I'll come back and take it out when I'm going through my finishing touches at the very end. That's the only drawer that has that liner in it, though, by the way.
So what's Monday?
Monday
drum
is...
roll?
My birthday.
That was not a drum roll.
That was how I do drum roll. I never was in band. I was more of a theater kid.
So yes, it's your birthday.
Yeah, Monday is my birthday, and it's tax day.
No, Don, you didn't miss story time. Well, you did, but it was just about.
Today was just a short story about my my kids watching my YouTube channel. You know, not Saturday morning cartoons like normal kids do. I roll into the study, and my kids are watching painting videos on YouTube in the morning, which is great. Like, my kids have painted furniture. We've picked up a few pieces and sold them.
Stephanie says she did her taxes when her W-2s came in. In theory, totally, we go into every year thinking that that's going to be the case.
Yeah, you know, because I do our taxes myself,
I do.
And I freaking hate them. I hate it. I will wait till the last minute and still file an extension. I hate it. We have rental property, self-employment, W-2, like, we just built the house. I mean, our taxes are a hot mess. I hate it.
So you're excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so I hate it.
Yeah.
So Sunday night at midnight.
Yes.
No, Sunday. So Monday night at midnight is roughly when I was filing our taxes.
That's sweet. So no videos on Monday?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be in a really poor mood too, so just avoid me totally on Monday. But send me a birthday gift. So anyways, so I'm going to go through and I will do underneath this piece. You can see this one up here. So it's almost dry in that time. And once that's all white, I mean, it's totally dry to the touch. You could come back and put a second coat on once it's all turned to this clear color.
Now, once you get it, once you have a dry coat, do you sand it for any reason? Are you sanding between any other paint coat or anything?
You can do just a thin sanding. I will before I put paint over this. It tries really matte. It's hard to explain. It's a very chalky, dry finish. So before I put paint over this, but I don't want to break through the seal of that boss. You're sealing your piece, so I don't want to compromise the seal on it at all by sanding through it. If you sand it, it needs to be super fine. So I would say like a 400 grit if you're going to sand boss, so that you don't violate that. And you'll know if you go through a coat of boss. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Because I have to do another coat anyways.
How soon after the boss is dried can you put paint on? Just right away?
Once it's dry, yeah.
Okay.
Once it's dry. I mean, it's dry. There's no moisture in that product whatsoever. So once it turns to that clear, it's good and dry. You can see, so this drawer is a flat front, but places like this where it's got a crevice, the crevice obviously is going to take longer to dry. See that where it's gathered in the crevice? That's going to take longer to dry than the flat areas. But I did the sides of this piece probably, what, half an hour before coming on? Right before coming on. And they're dry. They're dry, but I do have some in this crevice here that's still a little bit wet. So I wouldn't put paint on this, but I could come back and put my second coat of gloss on this.
So to go back, why do you put 2 coats?
Because I don't want any chances. If you guys have ever had a piece that
you go all the way through the process only to be disappointed.
Yeah, because painting a piece and then getting bleed through it's heartbreaking. I had it happen when I first started painting. Was one of my first pieces, and after that, never again, because I looked up from there, what is causing this? What is this staining in my paint? How do I fix it? And from there, like once you see what it is, it's awful. So I will do 2 coats because I don't want any chances. And let's see, I believe on
when you go back through here, you're gonna see a lot of happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
And a couple of funny moves.
Thank you. I wanted to say it told you to put 2 coats on, but
age appropriate, so they're all over 20 years.
Oh, so my kids should not watch this video. Keep it family friendly, guys. All right, so I'm gonna get off. Next week, you guys, we're gonna start putting the paint finish on this. So again, my colors that I chose for this are Dixiebell Tea Rose, Mason-Dixon Gray, and then Drop Cloth. So next week is paint finishes on this. This one will probably take a little bit longer because I'm doing a little bit heavier on the decorative finishes with the transfer and the molds. And I think we're going to do a paint wash. And so it'll be a little heavier on the decorative finishes. Might take us a couple more weeks to finish.
Now, really quick, just to go recap again, sorry, but as far as how you know it's a bleeder, how you know what particular piece, I mean, even before you touch it.
So there's a few ways to tell. One easy one is when you're cleaning your piece, if your rag goes from, it was a dingy white.
That was perfectly bleach white.
It was dingy white, but it didn't look like this. If you're wiping this off of your piece, this is not finger dirt. This is not pledge. This is a piece that's going to bleed. So if your rag is looking like this when you're cleaning your product and it keeps wiping dirty, you're not wiping dirt anymore. You're wiping tannins from the wood that are starting to come through. So that's a good way to tell. The color of the wood is a good way to tell. So dark woods are very likely to bleed through. So this one is a fiery red.
You don't have it like the original color.
Yeah, I was looking for the original color because now I've coated all this. But you can kind of see what this is. There's a lot of red in the woods. So dark woods are very likely. If it has knots in it, like pine, those are likely to bleed.
Hardware.
Another way we talked about in the beginning is, I don't think I've ever seen a piece that has this type of hardware, this style of hardware, that was not a bleeder. So this can be your cue. If all else fails and you're just really not sure, you can always do a preventative coat of Boss just to be safe. Or you can also put on a coat of paint and you can test it and see, does your coat of paint discolor? That's not a sure thing though, because your paint can discolor over time too. So it may not happen right away. It may happen over time that it starts to bleed through. So if all else fails, do it as a preventative coat if you're not sure. But this was a dead giveaway on the hardware and then the color that I'm wiping down as I'm cleaning it. So you guys, we did some Dixie Mud repairs tonight in my Veneer. We did some Dixiebell Boss, the stain blocking primer. We did some White Lightning cleaner. And when we come back next week, I think the preparation on this is going to be good. And we will start throwing on some Dixiebell paint next week. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the happy birthdays. And we'll be back next Thursday night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Same bat channel.
The same bat channel, the Dixiebell page. And then you guys, if you share this post, if you haven't already, share this post, and we're going to be coming back in 24 hours, and we will announce a winner of the 8-ounce of Dixiebell paint for everyone who's shared. You're entered to win.
I'm going to go back and show the mud. You know, the dirty stuff.
Yeah. See, this is the dry. And this is on the thinner areas. You can see here, this is where the veneer was actually missing, and it's thicker, and it's not dry yet. So that's going to take a little bit longer. But look at this drawer. Like, this is totally dry. I could put a second coat on this. But then these ones that have the moldings on them,
It's just the crevices.
yeah, the crevices are not dry. So, all right, you guys, go back, enjoy your Thursday evening, and I'll catch you guys next week.